Have you ever wondered why a cube doesn't turn as smoothly as those that are used by speed cubers? Well, today I'm going to show you how to properly set up your Rubik's Cube so you can achieve smooth turns and faster solves. So let's just get right into it. First, let's talk about tensioning. Most modern cubes come with an adjustable screw or a spring system inside them. This allows you to control how tight or loose the cube feels. A tighter cube gives you more control but can feel stiff, while a looser cube is faster but might pop during solves. Now for the fun part, lubrication. Cube lubricants come in different viscosities which affect how the cube feels. Lower viscosity lubes like those rated at 10K or below make the cube faster because they reduce friction more. Higher viscosity cubes like 30K or 50K slow the cube down slightly but provide more control. So what I like to do is use a lower viscosity lube like this one, the Velocity by Cubello. It's got a viscosity of 10K, and along with that I pair it with this GAN standard lube which is about 40K. In order to start to lubricate the cube, you need to first disassemble the cube completely. You can do this by turning it about 45 degrees and then popping out this edge piece. It should come out quite easy like that, and then the rest of them should just fall out, and then you can just get rid of all of the pieces like that, and then they all just come off. Okay, so once you've got your cube disassembled, you need to have all of the pieces kept on one side and this core on the other side, because this needs to be cleaned differently compared to these pieces. What I recommend is using some kind of disinfectant wipes or something that has a high alcohol percentage in it. So I like to use these because they get all the grime off the cube, and when it dries off because of the alcohol it leaves a matte finish, so you've got a proper base layer to start applying the new cube lube onto. So in order to start cleaning the core of the cube, you need to be careful not to move these things, not to move these little center pieces, because then that will mess up your tensioning as well. So you've got to be careful to get into the gaps and clean in between the gaps, and make sure to get under these gap things. Okay, so once you're done cleaning the core of the cube, you can just set it to the side and let it dry off, because we won't be needing this for another 10 to 15 minutes based on how well you clean the pieces. So in order to clean the pieces, you'd basically have to do the same thing, but because you can see these pieces have grooves in them, you've just got to clean them like twice as more compared to the core, because that thing had nothing in it. These have grooves in it. They've got different kind of grooves, like the corner pieces have grooves in these corners of the colors, and they have this inside bit as well, and obviously they've got the outside as well. So you just basically do the same thing, but you have to clean it a little bit better. Okay, so once you've cleaned off every piece individually and properly, I would let them sit for about 2 to 3 minutes so that the alcohol evaporate off, and then after that we can start reassembling the cube. To start putting the cube back together, you should start with an edge piece. It doesn't really matter where you put them because you have to solve the cube before you start lubricating it anyways. So I would just start with any edge piece and then build one layer at a time. So I put a corner piece in here next, and then another edge piece like that, then a corner, edge, and another corner. So once you've got this base layer done, you can put it on the table like that, and you can start putting the other pieces in. Okay, so once you've put all the pieces in except this one last edge piece, your cube is pretty much ready to start lubricating. So what you're going to do with this last edge piece is get your low viscosity lube, and you're just going to put it inside the grooves over here and on the parts where it rubs against the other pieces. Once you're done lubricating this one edge piece, you put it back basically the same way you removed it. You turn the top layer 45 degrees and you just kind of squeeze it in there. There you go. So So now you're gonna have to do this with, I would say, 2 or 3 more edge pieces to get an even distribution of the lubricant. Okay, once you're done putting the initial low viscosity lubricant on it, you can just move the cube around to get it a bit spread up and get an even distribution all across the cube. I would just do this for like a minute so it's completely spread across the entire cube and there's no part of the cube that doesn't have this low viscosity lube on it. Okay, so once you're done spreading the low viscosity lube all across the cube, what you're going to want to do is get your high viscosity one, spread the pieces apart a bit until you see the insides of the cube, and then drop a single drop on one side, a single drop like that, turn it a bit, turn it to the other side, and then do the same thing, one drop in there, and then one more final time on this side, and drop one more final drop in there. And now you just spread it all across, get an even spread throughout the entire cube, and then your cube should be ready. Okay, so one more thing you might want to do after you're done with the entire lubrication process is just get the same alcohol wipe, just wipe it down to get rid of any potential lube that's got on the surface of the cube, because that might cause you to cause the cube to slip and it might fall out of your hands, potentially ruining your entire solve. So just wipe it down and then you can dry it off with a microfiber cloth.